Oh,
There you
yeah,
go.
there you go. Just a second.
Hi.
Hi there.
Oh, you took my camera. There we go.
How are you today, Kaya?
Good. How are you? How are you? Let me turn my volume up.
It's perfect. Actually, I slept until like 2 hours ago because I was working, and I will go to work after the live all night again. So it's
I
perfect.
know I was bothering you last night, so sorry about that.
No, 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 no. I was happy actually because um, I really like to talk about dark magic, all these things, because I never brought in this, we can say, in this format, somebody that was, we can say, so expert. I had like vampires, so you are in that community. I can see your fangs here, and
I'm not an expert though. I'm a career student. I'll never be an expert.
okay. Well,
Yeah.
somebody we can say is willing to open like an activity because you are the owner of Noir Grimoire, I've seen,
Yes.
and I had a look at all your website, and I hope that nobody's gonna pay you to do a course on me.
No, no. No, 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 no. That's what I was telling you yesterday. I said, nope, no curses. I'll teach you how to do it though.
Yeah, 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 I know, I know. I was joking, and I like your hat today. Oh, that's
Oh,
perfect.
thank you. It's my little witch's hat.
Oh, and so one of the first questions that I would like to ask: what brought you in? You can say in the paranormal and in the vampire community. So you can start. You can decide which one to say before. No pressure.
The no pressure. Well, the paranormal community, I've had paranormal activity around me my whole life and didn't really know what was going on, so I've always been interested in it. As far as magic, it kind of segued from that. Like I've always been interested in the occult, the paranormal, anything that is taboo per se. And the vampire community, I met a wonderful vampire, Father Sebastian. He made my fangs, and then so that kind of inducted me in that. But honestly, I really don't know much about the vampire community, so I can't speak for them. So I am just in love with my fangs, and I sport them as much as possible.
Oh, and so there are different kind of magic. I've seen a lot of witches. I interviewed a lot of this word, and nobody if the number that number is never true. I can see the comments. There are more than the people, but over actually maybe 700, 800 people will watch it after. And if you see like a lot of questions then coming to you regarding your website, no worries, you can trust all of them. And regarding why do you prefer, we can say, the dark magic? You prefer, I mean, your passion, it's that side. You know both, I'm
Right.
sure. But your passion, what you're like studying, working on is the dark side. What brought you into that?
Well, that's a good question. I started it probably about 7 years ago, and I had this kind of calling to study things other than what were familiar to me. As I started going down it, I kind of committed to myself to commit kind of a metaphorical suicide. I wanted to kill everything about myself that I had been taught that I didn't choose for myself. You're taught when you're born, you're a Christian, you're a Baptist, you're this. I did not choose that. That was given to me. So I said I wanted to disassociate from everything that was given to me and make my own choices. So I kind of rebaptized myself, took away everything that I had knew, and I sought out to study everything that I knew nothing about, things that scared me, things that, you're told you're not supposed to study. And I fell in love and kind of realized that's where I should have been all along. That's where my calling was all along. I've always kind of been like called to the dark side, but it's not really a dark side. It's just an unknown side.
That's correct. That's what I wanted. What I want. You read in my brain. So people see dark what they don't know. So when I
Right.
say I'm going to chase a ghost, they look at me like if I'm going to kill somebody. And I just checking a lot of comments. Guys, if you have any comment, the questions and answers, just next to the comment, just put them there. I will open them. And there are a lot of people writing. There is even one person writing from Transylvania. So
Oh, cool.
and hi everyone, I've seen that everyone is sending the greetings, so don't forget that I ever watch you, no worries. And we, I can show you something. I'm not going to do it as of now, hopefully. I don't know if you never heard about this. Let's see what I can put them in a right way.
What do we have there?
You know what is this?
Is it some sort of board? Oh, spirit board? Is that what it is that you have
No,
there?
it's just a paper. Okay, so that's what I use to communicate with a spirit usually.
Got it. Are you using a pendulum with that or cup or how
Just
are you doing it?
so basically, you just need to connect with the spirit. Okay, once you open, you just need to put two pens. You can have two pencils, two pens, whatever. And no, Kelly, I'm not sure I will play today, but I am arranging something. And so when the spirit comes in contact, which is called the Charlie challenge, you will see this pen moving. You can do only yes and no questions. Okay, you see? So the pen is gonna move or in this way or in this way.
Interesting.
On the one above, and I'm not so I don't know if you ever heard about this Charlie challenge.
The what's it? Did you say Charlie challenge?
Yeah,
I
that's
haven't.
so basically in Mexico, we can see in the past, they used to talk with spirits using this way. Okay, so just cross something and put at the corners yes and no. Very easy. But then what happened? In 2015, in the we can say in the part of Cuba, all that part, they started to talk in the news about a school where students they were just maybe having 8 years, 9 years, so very young. They were calling this spirit, and they used to call him Charlie. And then there, on Twitter, one was an influencer that started this challenge called Charlie Challenge. And after this challenge started to go around all over the world. Okay. And you are able to call a spirit with this. It's very easy, even easier than a board, any other. This one is the best way to call a spirit. And he's gonna tell you everything, but there was a problem in 5 years ago. Um, so when you open a portal or something, they were not closing it.
Yes.
So this challenge started to become very, I can say, dangerous. So if you start your ritual, okay, but imagine that you start everything, all the spells, everything, but then you never close it. You're gonna be in troubles, we can say, no?
It could have been designed that way on purpose, though, depending on the person's intent. They could have intended to open all these portals everywhere, and people don't know about closing and banishing and protection, so that could have been the intention from the start. It depends on who's the originator of this challenge.
Well, as I said, they were in the Mexicans, but then at the same time, they were the Mexicans in general was in their culture. There was not like a specific person, unless there were feelings on Wikipedia, but was a general everyone in the country was using this. And in this, there was the name that started the challenge. As I said, was this comment on Twitter that went viral all over the world. I've seen the best YouTubers doing this stuff. And there are people saying, respect the spirit sphere, some energies do not want to be called and used in this way. So that's what I'm saying. They used to call ever different spirits, but at the same time, they were calling it, when you talk with a spirit and you say it's Michael Jackson, you do it because you will get views, but doesn't mean that you're
Right.
talking with that spirit. And then they called him Charlie and was like an oracle. So they were telling him to tell them the future. And he started to get upset, when you say you are demon, and the spirit is gonna become like not, obviously. It's like if I tell you that the dark magic, like it's called, obviously I call it in general, but I know that it's not dark magic. It's bad. If everyone starts to tell you that it's bad, you're gonna start thinking, okay, it's bad, but then you will do it for revenge. So the spirit was called all over the world, and nobody was respecting him. So the person saying in the comments, yes, I would misrespect the spirit, but I don't think I would really misrespect them. What do you use to call them? I know that you use dolls, you have a bit of everything, but what's your main one?
I use sigils. So I try to, I don't call anything without knowing it as much as I can, and I use a sigil. So I will open a sigil, I'll open a portal purposely with their sigil and my blood. And it's a welcoming into my space. They know that I know who they are. I know as much about them as I can. And then when I'm done communicating with that entity, then I respectfully dismiss them and I close the sigil. It's like a telephone call.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
because I don't want to leave anything open in my house, because once that portal is open, like you've used it to bring that spirit through, but it's just an open line after that. They're gone, but you still have that line open. Anything can slip in. So it's important to make sure that you do close that line of communication once you're done.
and I like what you say, blood.
Yes.
How do you, I mean, from your hands, how do you do that?
So you can use, if you're not a woman, most guys would use Lancet or something and cut themselves. But women, obviously, we bleed every month, so I would use Menses, my period blood.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a very powerful tool. It was kind of taboo, but it is like it's a natural source. You know, it's life. It breathes life. Everybody is from that blood. You know, so that's a very powerful tool in opening portals.
That's if I tell you what I use, I am like I'm not a medium, I'm not a psychic, but it's what I use, like water. It's crazy. And even I was talking to Pat, and like water, trees, all these things, they are full of energy. They are like, for example, the water can be used like energy, you know.
Yes.
And so why I said, if I don't have any power, I don't know any magic, I'm not trained in this kind of things, why I should not, I mean, or I go away from this world and I leave it, or I start finding another solution. So the water came into my mind, and then Patty told me about the trees. I will try to put myself in contact with a tree, a very old one, obviously. Like she's an elemental witch, as per what I understood. And what we can say, when you do your rituals, so is anyone allowed to be next to you, or you prefer, or you need your own space? Because I'm not familiar with this kind of things.
No, I do everything alone. If we're doing a group ritual, of course, you know, we share energy and we're working towards a common goal. But I usually just practice alone because I'm doing this for business. So I'm at home. I'm in my space. My home is my sanctuary, and I'm alone. It's quiet, no music, no distractions, and in darkness.
Do you have, we can say, it's haunted your house now?
Oh, you said what?
Haunted. It's you have ghosts in your house now?
Go. Oh no, no. There's no ghost in my. There was one in my house when I moved in, but there was. I moved into a home where someone had died, and when I came in here, he was still here, but he's totally chill and cool. And I think actually he's left because when I had a little conversation about him about what I plan on doing business wise, I don't think that in life he was someone that was okay with that type of magic, and I think he peacefully moved on because I haven't like really had any communication with him since.
And when did you find out? I mean, you were a kid when you found out about this?
About magic?
We can say to be attracted by the magic, this
Um,
attraction that you have.
Oh, okay. Well, I started studying demonology like at the age of like 12 or 13 because I had to ride the bus to and from school, and it stopped at the library. So in the library, you know, my little 13-year-old self, for some reason, I was drawn to that section. I loved studying religion and all sorts of different, you know, ancient, whatever they had in that section, the religious section. And then they have this little tiny caveat in that section. And it was like demonology. I had never heard of it before in my life. And I started reading those books, but I couldn't check them out because my mom, you know, she would she would see it. So that was how I started, going to the library every day after school and going to that little tiny section. I'm from Ohio. Our library is very small, so it was just maybe six little books,
Mhm.
and I made sure that I read every last one of them. And that kind of started my love with the occult.
And you started practicing after many years, so when you were ever 12 or 13, like that?
No, I actually studied for decades of just reading and never practiced a thing until I told myself that I wanted to figure out what was for me and instead of what was given to me. So I started practicing magic maybe 8 years ago and then full time like 4 years ago.
That's, yeah, I really would like to. I'm still watching like documentaries, the one that even I don't know if you watched my previous live. Sebastian was telling me about things to watch, and then Patty told me about to read their book. And I started. I will read their book. I still need to order. I started to watch what Sebastian told me, and I'm watching on YouTube. I don't know if you watch Richard Lillard. I watch his YouTube. I watch his YouTube. I love it. He tells so many good things about. It's even for experts, of course, but even for people that are starters. And I just found out because it's like 2 months that I'm doing this format, and I've seen hundreds of people coming from all over the world. So I was very happy, and I started to push a bit, and I'm trying to figure it out. Like the paranormal is seen like a crime in a lot of places. Not in America. In America, it's like very popular, but if you come to UK, at least in Jersey, UK, for example, it's a real crime. It's like if you kill somebody, and I'm not joking, the police is gonna come to your door if you do
That's
something.
crazy.
Yeah, for example, if you do one of your rituals, expect the police to knock on your door, 100% in Jersey.
Wow.
If somebody says that, yeah. I know a medium here called Kelly, and Kelly is a very powerful one, very powerful. And I showed a picture of a person and to her for mistake, and she told me things about that person and that I didn't know. Then when I asked that person if it was true, actually the person told me yes, and she didn't know even what was her name. So yeah, she's very powerful. I really like her. But she told me that she had so many troubles with the police because of this. And that's why I'm trying to push a lot America and push people into the paranormal to open their eyes, open their mind. I like what you say, like in the library, you were like hiding something like that. Of course, when you study demonology at 12 years, people will look at you like, what she's doing. But then today it became your life, so you were doing right.
She's very supportive, but I'm telling you, growing up in a Black Christian home, or even just a super religious home, that your family is like the police. I mean, they will bust in and do the same, try to give you an exorcism if they catch you doing stuff. So it's almost just as dangerous to practice here in the States if you're from an uber religious family as it is, in the UK with the police situation.
I didn't know about. So you were going against. So all your family was very religious, but you were not so religious. That's what that's a lot.
Yeah, I've never gone to church. Like, my mom was so kind that when she went to church, she would ask me, "Do you want to go?" And of course, it was no, I don't want to go. So she never forced me. I only went for like Mother's Day or whatever just to make her happy. But I am not a church person. Never have been.
And do you have any like tip for a person that would like to start to study demonology? I brought a lot of people into the paranormal. For example, I can see there was one, Kelly. She just texted me like yesterday that she came into the paranormal watching me. And if you would say to a person how to study demonology or to start even practicing it, how would you explain that?
You know what? I started on YouTube, and I sought out people that were kind of studying what I wanted to study, but also they had the type of lifestyle that I wanted to have. They had a successful magic business. They were doing ritual for hire. One of the first people that I came across on YouTube was Black Witch Coven, Black Witch S Savannah. She is amazing. And then so I just started watching everything that she put out. And then when you watch those videos, other videos will come up on YouTube of people like that. So I got more education in YouTube because, obviously when we were kids, there was no internet. There was nothing. I think, the only time I used a computer was to play Oregon Trail as a kid. Now you have your phone at your hand and you can do anything you want. So I would go on YouTube and start watching videos. And I fell down the wormhole. And I started reading the books that they would suggest, because a lot of times they have suggestions on their websites. And I gave myself like a college education basically in magic via YouTube.
Okay. And when you were doing, for example, your first ritual, because I know the most important thing for any ghost hunter and a witch, whoever is involved in these things, it's the first time. So on your first ritual, you were alone? There was somebody with you? Did you need any support, something like that?
Oh no, I was alone. I was a sweaty, stinky mess because I was so nervous. I was sitting in there and I was just trying to calm myself down. And I said, look, this is either going to kill me or make me stronger. You know, I'm going for it. So the biggest thing I found out is your mind is your worst enemy. It really can be. I had to get out of my mind. I had to stop thinking about, you know, God, what if Lucifer himself shows up? Like that stuff has never happened to me, but I had to get out of my own head. So I did it alone. I watched her do a ritual, and I said, I'm going to perform this myself. I studied that particular demon for a month, and I had the basics also of banishing and protection and all that. Because, like I said, I'd been reading for years. So it's not like I was ignorant to magic. I had just never laid my hands on it. I had been reading about it for 26 years. So I did the ritual. Nothing happened. I didn't get possessed. Nothing happened. And yeah, it gave me confidence and relief. And that's how I was able to keep going into, bigger and better things. It was an amazing experience. It's a self-initiation, if you will.
And the Ghost Maidens, actually, the answer to you right now, they put you, do you consider yourself a techno-pagan then? Uh, techno, like, just go in the question, on the Ghost Maidens, on the comments. A techno-pagan? I'm not sure how to pronounce that.
Oh, I'm not good at this. Let's see. A techno-pagan. I've never actually even heard that term. I don't know what techno-pagan is. So if they would explain it to me, well, I guess that's the answer. No, I don't consider myself that because I've never heard of it before.
And Christians say, Satan will come through the floor. Well, I mean, I don't really believe, as I say, I'm not a religious guy, okay? And as everyone that I was talking with, we do all believe in second dimensions and different deaths. And no, I don't think Satan will come here to punish me. There are different spirits. It depends if you mess with them. Then if you call a spirit and then you mess with him and then you call him Satan just because it's written in a book. Yeah, you can call him Satan, but then you get what you get. I don't really believe in punishments or how to say. I mean, in the curse, yes, I believe, but then there are people that will bring to you the curse, and there are spirits that you're gonna upset, and then they will punish you. But you need to do the first move. They never do the first.
Yeah,
And
but it's also about brainwashing too. And it's like I was not super brainwashed, but if you're brainwashed into Christianity, you have that program running in your head about what Christianity tells you a demon is and what it's going to do while you're trying to do this ritual. That program is running on autopilot in your head, and that can also attract undesirable results because you're thinking like a Christian while you're trying to perform magic. You've got to kill that in yourself and get rid of that because you will have undesirable results, and you will have something hideous in the corner trying to scare you because you manifested that, because that is what you are expecting. So I had to, the whole time that I'm doing my first ritual was, I'm expecting nothing. I'm expecting a great connection. I've read about you, and that I had to go with that new way of thinking, because if not, I probably would have messed my own self up and never touched magic again.
and the one that you just said, like mess yourself, it goes to another question. And well, you have three questions still to answer, but I will go with Gemma first, and then I will go
Okay.
Ghost Maidens, and then Kelly. And regarding this one that you were just saying, this last thing, these things that you're doing, did they bring you an attachment?
An attachment? No.
Okay.
No, it did not bring me an attachment, because you are bringing in something and you're dismissing. There's a difference between invocation and evocation. Invocation is taking something inside of yourself. Now, I feel like if you're invoking, you can possibly have an attachment because that thing has been inside of you. I don't invoke, I evoke, which means I'm calling into my space, but not within myself. So I've never had an attachment. I dismiss, and I'm able to get rid of that. But as far as invocation, I feel like that would be a more risk for an attachment, but I can't speak to it because I've never invoked, so I don't know.
And they give you the explanation about techno-pagan, about the modern tech. Okay.
Let me scroll here.
Just you use basically the modern technology for witchcraft, for example.
I'm sorry, what was the explanation?
Uh, when you use the modern technology for witchcraft.
Oh, absolutely then. Yeah. I'm all about that. That's I'm always trying to find new ways and old ways, new machines. I have a whole bunch of machines over here on my shelf, so I would definitely agree with that for sure. I appreciate the explanation of the definition because I would say I'm definitely in alignment with that.
And Kelly is writing to you. Do you believe cursing is bad?
No, absolutely not. Because the reason I don't believe cursing is bad is because I feel like you have the right to protect yourself. And if you get rid of all that, oh, karma is going to come back on you tenfold. No, there's too many people out here that have done disgusting things and they go on to live a great happy life to the age of 90. If karma was so swift and just, why are these people walking around healthy, happy, and free and never paying for their sins and crimes? So if you are the one that is protecting yourself and enacting justice and it happens to be through a curse, why would you be punished? No, I don't believe in that at all.
That's what I believe as well. That's why I guess there are both the sides of magic. I mean, a real witch is gonna know, like you, to know, will know like the both the sides, and then you will get specialized in something. And I understood that the side comes from, we can say, your life past experience, like all the experience. If you had a bad experience in life, like if you were not upsetted. Sometimes I met a lot of witches that were not upsetting when they were very young, even. And they told me I choose the dark side, even if I don't consider it dark side, because you're not cursing me, you're cursing something, um, somebody, because he hurt you maybe during the life. And the curse sometimes for this kind of witches is the experience. They cannot take it out from. I spoke with girls that they were, well, they passed very bad things, like they were even abused, this kind of thing. So they were brought into the paranormal for this, and that's why I really love this word, because it's gonna connect both the dimensions, because all of this is gonna generate energy. So from my side, I'm gonna study the energy, as I said, even this from this paper. This paper is gonna give me all the energy that I need. But from uh, I just need to learn how to use the energy that comes from your body. Okay, you know how to use it. Like you said, your way to use the blood, like to take the blood. That one, it's interesting. I never heard about it, and I'm happy that I heard it. And I don't know if guys like me. I'm not gonna cut my hand, honestly. I hope to don't do that. But I really want to understand how it works. I know that you're still learning a lot. You told me about
Yeah,
the.
I'm always going to learn. It's to the day I die, I consider myself a student. As soon as you start thinking of yourself as an expert, you feel like there's nothing else for you to learn, and then you're embarrassed when you don't know something. Oh, I'm supposed to be the expert. I can't ask for help. And I never want to trick my ego or myself or stifle myself in that way of thinking that I know everything there is and that I'm afraid to ask a question because I'm supposed to be this black magic expert. I'm always going to be a student.
And did you never you? What do you think about? Because what I think in every live, I say I want to ask the opinion of everyone that I'm interviewing. Actually, as an influencer, I start to, we can say, sponsoring shops. Okay, so I started to sponsor a shop that sells Ouija boards. Okay, they are very nice ones, and however, have been called even killer because I tell to people how to open portals and things. But what do you think about the Ouija board? I asked it to the Ghost Maidens, and I asked it to Sebastian. I don't remember if I asked it already Patty or Richard, but I want to ask your opinion about the Ouija board.
People are so worried about Ouija boards. You know that your TV is a portal. So, you should be more afraid of your television than a Ouija board. A Ouija board, I definitely believe it opens portals and it can be dangerous, but so can your television. Your television is a portal. You watch these things and you invite things in your home based on what you watch through television. People think, oh, because it's on TV, like it's not affecting me. It is. Your television is the biggest Ouija board that everybody has in their damn house, and they don't realize it. Your phone as well. So you have to protect yourself. Your phone and your television are portals, and they're more dangerous than a Ouija board.
And I guess the Ouija board got a bad reputation because of the TV. I guess because
Well, yeah, I mean, if you've watched enough movies, who isn't afraid of it, I still have my moments. I think I've only played with one twice and, got some contact with spirits or whatever. But then again, I was a kid when I did it. And the whole time I'm thinking, I'm going to go to hell because I was raised a Christian. So as an adult now, I have not touched one, but I know that it is a portal and that it's meant to be taken seriously. But I don't think that they're bad. And it depends on the user. If you know how to use it correctly, then why not?
of course, and there is even another question that I wanted to ask, and the person Gemma asked it before me, and I'm happy. When you curse a person, okay, you are, I mean, a witch in general, and do you need an object like one of my ears, my nails, something?
No, I don't. You can create a link just from a picture, but I don't. I just need a picture, their name, and their birth date. I do a type of magic where I am basically writing petitions as well, and I like the term techno-pagan because I bought a radionics machine, and that is amazing. What that does is it creates a frequency based on a picture. You can put any picture on it, and it will create a frequency for that picture for that person. And then you program it and you can put that frequency into a candle, into any object that you're using in your spell. So, I mean, things are advancing so quickly that you don't even need a hair or any personal items anymore because you can use technology.
And you know what, I really, as I said, I really love the technology in general, but as you and the ghost maidens are saying, DNA and visual is my favorite thing. DNA and visualizing is my favorite thing to use. The ghost maidens are telling to you. The last comment. And as I said before, I like to use the nature because nature. For example, in my house, I have turtles. I have I have trees very next to them. I have very old buildings. Because I do believe, like, imagine a tree. The tree, so how many generations? A lot. So he has been here during First World War, Second World War. He saw the Cold War. He saw everything. And imagine, go under a tree. How many times when you go under a tree, you start thinking about things, you relax. So even that relax, it's because I guess your bad energy, you are transmitting, you are passing that energy to the tree. So I am more unnatural. I go more in the natural part, like what you're saying, because technology, and I completely agree, it's bad. Because let's look clearly, if later I put a picture, okay, usually when I put a picture or something, the views are about 20,000 to 50,000 people. This one is my normal. And if I put something, people will start believing what I say. It's like a kid. You say to the kid, you teach it. If you teach it to a kid something, it's like a sponge. He will take it.
Yes.
So TVs, all these things, if tomorrow they will put on TV that the Ouija boards have the coronavirus, people are not going to buy anymore the Ouija boards.
Exactly.
So this one is the part that I don't really like about the paranormal. And what do you think about like this kind of shows that they go on? Do they influence you, or they influenced you in the past? Because you told me that you used to watch YouTube, so you have been influenced as well by
Yes.
internet. There is a positive side, obviously, but do you think there is a very negative side that you regret?
From television?
YouTube, anything?
No, I don't think there's a negative. I'm really protective about what I watch. So I don't think that there's a negative side for myself, but I do believe there is a negative effect. There's a danger in just leaving the television on and having your kids watch whatever all damn day long, like not having guided, guided time watching with them, because there's so much dangerous stuff, like images flashing. That's programming. certain images, certain colors, they're programming you. I'm a conspiracy theorist, but also, I mean, just think of common sense. If you keep associating a picture with something, then that's programmed in your mind. So I believe that that's extremely dangerous. I think that a lot of racism we have now is from the damn TV. It's programming. It's what you see on TV, and then we believe that, and we go out and we project that into the world when it's really not the proper reality. So I don't feel like I've been necessarily harmed by it, but I do see it as harmful, but I'm very protective about what I watch on television.
And one more thing. I like what you're saying about technology. I would like to talk ever about this technology. And before I want to go on the last question by Kelly, what's your opinion on how the paranormal is portrayed in movies? So the paranormal in the movies, what do you think about it?
Oh, yeah, I believe it's portrayed from a Christian standpoint, yelling at demons, commanding them, and all this type of stuff. That's not reality. Every show that I watch, when they go in and they're doing not every show, but they do a paranormal investigation, the first thing the person says is, "Oh, there's a demon here." And it's always a demon, and they're possessed by a demon. They need an exorcism. Like, that is so rare. You have so many entities around you at every moment. There's so many, disembodied spirits walking around. Energy never dies, not created, and it doesn't die. So it'd be foolish to think that there's not energy from people that have come and gone all around you. A lot of times when people want to stick around, they're watching you. So they know your greatest fears, and they're the ones that are messing with you. It's not a demon, it's a person, a disembodied person. And so that's the one thing that I get a chuckle out of every single movie or show. It's a demon. It's never just it's a ghost. It's always a demon.
Oh yeah, and demons, like it's even used in a bad way, because demons, it depends on the culture. If you tell to a Japanese what is a demon, is gonna tell that maybe you are a demon, I am a demon, just because I'm doing something different. So I mean, demons, in Christianity they are seen like bad entities, but demon, there are many ways that you can use it. We can say that there are spirits that are miseducated by humans. That's how I call them. And for example, my spirit, I had to change room. I tell you something. I was doing a live a few days ago with a person called Michelle. On Instagram, she's called Ocean Vampires. She didn't save the live, so unfortunately I couldn't show it. But during the live, there was this recorder. It was fully charged. And when I told to the spirit, I have a residual in this house. I do believe there is a residual and an intelligent entity.
Yes.
When I talked to the spirit to talk to the recorder died. Okay, which is common, very common, this. Right. And but at the same time, I do believe that technology is going to influence us, but it's going to influence them as well. So, I mean, let's go a bit behind in the past. Ouija board, why was not seen like something very bad? Because people couldn't even read. They didn't know what the letters were. So they were just speaking, but they couldn't read. So they didn't know even what the spirit was saying. If the spirit was saying hello or die, they didn't know. And then again, I don't think the spirits could use the energy from a remote control. How did you find out your familiar was a spider? What do you mean?
Oh, Iggy. They're talking about my Instagram page. So I have my little familiar, I call her, is Iggy. I have a black tarantula, Brazilian black. She's like that big. And so I kept having dreams of a spider, and I'm deathly afraid of spiders. This is no joke. And I kept having a dream of one. I'm like, maybe that's my familiar. I kind of said it jokingly. And then I said, well, maybe I'm supposed to have one. And I went out and started reading about it and got it. And she helps me and she calms me during my magic. I use her little cage. I put her by my magic altar. And when I do magic, she actually will come out of her little thing and watch me through the glass. She's very connected to me and what I'm doing here. She's my emotional support tarantula.
No, the spiders, I cannot manage them. Look, I can call entities. I'm going to call everyone. I swear, all the entities I'm going to call in this house. But if I see a spider big like this, I'm going to run away.
Oh yeah, I would have in the past. I would have burnt my whole house down just to kill it. But now it's yeah. She, I know I'm supposed to have her because I can actually tolerate being around her, and I am deathly afraid of spiders.
Well, last time I had to move a spider. I was doing a live with Richard Lell, and when I told to Richard Lell, look, I just need to move because there is a spider, he told me, don't kill the spider, huh? And I didn't kill him, but I put him outside the window, like, no, no, this one is not your space. Yes, do you believe in animal callings? Because there's an old that says, do you believe in animal callings?
Animal. Did you say animal colleagues?
Callings, like when the animals call you.
Animals call you. I believe that you can have spirit animals. Yes, I'm not really understanding the question, but if you're meaning like spirit animals, sure.
No, she's talking about a real animals. She has an hole.
I
Just
try to
look
find it.
on, just the Kelly Rosario. You
Let's
see?
see. Let's.
Just go at the bottom.
Oh, okay. Even animal callings. Oh, like animal callings, like an animal trying to communicate with you? Yeah, absolutely. I do. I had my own little bout with owls for a while and then ravens and things like that. I believe that animals try to communicate with us a lot, but I also believe it's not so much the animal, but the spirit moving through the animal, if that makes sense.
And
Using the animal, not the animal itself, you know?
okay, so you do believe that there is a spirit in everything as well?
No, I do believe there's a spirit in everything, but I believe like a spirit animal. Like say if there's an owl and an owl keeps following you, that might be your spirit animal. That might be something that you need to connect with and start studying the characteristics of an owl. What an owl has been thought to be in different practices. What does it mean to Native Americans? What does it mean to the Vikings? You know, there's a lot of magic that uses the symbol of an owl. So I believe like it's a spirit calling, but not necessarily the owl is stalking you and following you. Maybe there's something, some communication or a message there that has something to do with the owl.
Okay. And there is even another person saying, is there a way? Oh, so this person has got evil spirits in his house. So the first thing that I can tell you, stop calling them evil spirits because they're gonna think that they are evil. Okay, so that's the first rule. Just tell them that they are good, but you don't welcome them. So when you go outside, for example, I do have, as I said, a couple of ghosts here, or two or three. It depend. I'm not sure if one is a residual, but I do think so because he ever shows up in the same party with the same noise at the same time. So I do believe it's a residual.
Yes, residual, I would say so too.
Yeah, but the other two, no. If I ask them a question or anything, they're gonna answer. They answer me twice in the live, even during the past live with Richard Lyle, they answer me live. Of course, I really don't want to give them my energy right now, because I usually do it when I don't work. Otherwise, I will fall asleep.
They drain you, yeah.
And because usually I'm awake like 17, 18, or 20 hours in a row, so it's difficult. They are messing with my kids. They show up in my videos and photos almost everywhere I go. Can you send me these videos and photos? And because I really would like to have a look at these spirits and tell me where you are based on, because I can see if I can send you somebody to help you. Because if they mess with kids, maybe they just want to play, actually. Not necessarily, I mean, it's not like sure that they want to attack your kids. Like,
Fear will have you thinking things are evil as well. It's like it's your fear that you're projecting on it as evil because you are afraid and it's unknown. Are they really evil or do they just scare you? Sometimes having a conversation with them, you're not allowed to scare me. I don't want to be scared. You know, and if you need help from me, I can't hear you and I can't communicate with you. And a lot of time you can have abilities and you don't know it and you're not open, but you have abilities and they see that around you and they're trying to communicate because they want help. Just to let them know, I'm not able to help you. You know, whatever you see in me or you think that I can give you, I can't, and I'm not willing to. Please stop. So you can have a conversation first before you go throwing salt water and calling in someone to remove them. Just have a conversation first.
They emotionally affect my daughter. Can you check out my page, please? It's all there. They scared them. They drew shadow people. Um, okay, about shadows. I mean, first of all, you need to find out who this spirit can be. So I don't know if your house has got an history. For sure, everything has an history, but I don't know if you know about it. Um, because a lot of times you buy an house, maybe somebody died in there and maybe it was a murder. So yes, in that case, or you have an intelligent spirit or a residual. But if they draw shadows, first of all check where they appear, because if they appear even the same place like in my house, they're gonna be just a residual, and maybe you're just messing yourself, and all your emotions, you get like tired because you're scared, and then your mind says, oh no, there is a shadow, I'm gonna be drained. So in that moment you're gonna be drained. It's like the kid when he wakes up and tells you, I have stomachache, I cannot go to school, and after 3 hours he really has the stomachache, because the mind is gonna bring you to
And
that.
children are open to, like, when we're kids, we all have abilities because we haven't been taught that it's fake and it's not real, you know. So as a child, this child is probably super open and they're going to attract entities forever until they learn to close and disassociate.
And so now I can show again that paper. So I don't know if that person is still watching. Yes, Danielle is the name. I just checked it. So basically, you need to go again. So you prepare a paper like this, okay? Don't call him Charlie. Just get there, right? So you do believe yes, yes, no, no. So you need to check the corners and be sure that you close. Doesn't matter if it's not drawn well. You put this pen above, okay? You need to put this pen early above. It's like a cross. You see? It has to cover the lines. After that, when I ask them a question, this pen is gonna start saying yes and no. So you need to ask them yes and no. And then when you stop the conversation, you need to ask the real question: can we stop talking or playing? It depends if you're playing. If it's a kid, use the game, use the name, sorry, the word playing. If it's not a kid, use talking. Sometimes they just think to be bad. Just as I said, use this way, because I usually talk the spirit in this way and it really works. I don't want to do it live, honestly, because it's a very shy spirit. I am planning to do it on maybe on the 9th or the 10th of July, but I need to get the permission even from the spirit. Last time I shared on my profile, I asked to the spirit if he wanted to show up again, and he clearly said no, no, it's clear the answer. So I rejected the live. I just changed the thing because I don't want to push a spirit and then get cursed and then spend like $500 to get a clearance on my house.
Right.
So I don't know. Where are you based first? Where are you? You are in California.
I'm in Los Angeles.
You can go there.
I'm in Los Angeles. So there's plenty of witches here.
Yeah, and well, you didn't answer. And which one was your first way to call a spirit? As I said, I use this paper because I don't know much about magic. And that person is in Kentucky, just answered. You don't know how much is far from you.
Oh, yeah, yeah, Kentucky. Wow. The Are you talking to this person the first way they call the spirit, or are you talking to me?
To you. What's your first, if you used a paper like me, if you used a Ouija board, if you used a recorder, or your body?
Oh, no, I use sigils, but I've had experiences my whole life. I've been physically attacked, punched, sleep paralysis, scratched, thrown. Like, I've had experiences my whole life. I've been open my whole entire life. I didn't know that I had abilities until I read something that explained the words and what each ability was. When I had a name to it, then I realized that's what I had. So I've had experiences my whole life. My whole life was trying to not attract spirits at all and just live a normal life until I realized what they were. If I hadn't read, forgot even what book it was that talked about the five clairs. When I found out what claircognizance is, clairsentience, and I was like, oh my God, that's what's happening to me and my mother too. So once I got that under control, I was able to kind of put a stop to it and control that. Then I started calling evoking things, and that was through sigils and blood.
And you just mentioned what I this the sleeping paralysis. So the sleep paralysis, as you are inside, I mean, you talk with a lot of vampires. As per what I see, there are a lot of vampires that follow you, and Sebastian was mentioning me, and even Michelle, the other vampire. She told me that vampires can drain your energy with the sleep paralysis, so it's like their way of eating. So they can. I don't know if you were aware of this.
No, I didn't watch that live. Like I said, I'm really not versed in the whole vampire, whatever. I am just such an outsider looking in. The sleep paralysis that happened to me, I don't know. It was a person. It wasn't a demon. It was a person. This person used to, at night in my childhood home in Ohio, they would come in and I was awake and I knew I was awake and I would be completely stuck and frozen and they would start scratching me and I couldn't defend myself and I couldn't scream for my mom. I couldn't even move my jaw. Like it was like you know that ride when
Yeah.
you're at the carnival and it turns really fast and smashes you against the wall with gravity and you can hardly even turn your head. That's what I was experiencing in my bed as a child.
Oh wow! The vampires that I spoke with, they told me that they create this sleep paralysis. It's actually them. They are able to do this astral projection. I don't know how to say it clearly in
Astral
English.
projection.
Yeah, wow. I cannot say that word even if you just say it. I study figure.
Yeah.
And then they can drain your energy. So
I maybe there was a vampire in my room when I was 5. I don't know, but that's that's what happened to me. A lot of times, it was one of the most scariest things I've ever been through in my life.
and the person, she just replied, "That's our problem. My daughter and I are empaths. She can hear. Oh wow. So is the touch her? She can finish this. Okay. Are you reading the comments as well?
Right, the shadow people. Okay, it just came up. There's a portal in her basement. I found
Yeah.
out through a woman.
Oh wow.
Central creature bound to your property. Yeah, that would definitely have to be. You would have to figure out what tribe. Is it a tribal thing? You said a shaman came. What tribe is it? Maybe they can clear it for you because if there's a creature bound to your property, the Indians, if there's Indians out on that land or were in that land before, they would probably know the name of that elemental or whatever it is. I would assume so.
I do have a similar case, even in another house. I guess it's in Wisconsin. I'm not sure. And he has got this spirit that actually screams in his house. And a lot of people told me that it's fake, but I know the money that he's spending. I know how much he's doing because I'm sending him the mediums. And he has got a very bad spirit. You can clearly see the spirit, like you see me standing in front of you now, like in the phone. So it's kind of bad spirit. I had a spirit like that, okay? The one that he's saying. So my way to fight him was just ignore it. You know, if you ignore now, if you don't care about them, they cannot take your energy. They cannot. It's like if I talk with Kaya and she doesn't answer me, after 2-3 minutes, I'm gonna be bored. So I will move to another person.
Exactly. But it's really hard to do. It's very hard to control your fear when you're trying to ignore something and it is scaring the hell out of you. It's hard kind of not to react. I was never able to do that younger as a child. I wasn't. I would freak out and just have a complete tantrum, hissy fit until, my mom would ask me what's wrong or try to calm me down. As an adult, I can control it. But as a she has children, so I don't think children are going to be able to just ignore.
Yeah, you see, even again, she replied, she's saying the important the creature to has female. And I don't know. So it's not only one entity, it's more than one. Well, yeah, I do suggest to call maybe Patti Negri. I don't know if you're familiar with this name, Patti Negri or Richard L. Liard. You have seen them in Ghost Adventures. If you text them, they're gonna they work with these things every day. So they are leaders in this sector. They've been working for decades on this sector. So I would suggest to talk to both of them. Remember, if you need the names again, I will just text you. Just text me privately, and I will answer. No problem. And I'm actually receiving many comments, Kaya. When I wrote about the picture, when I wrote the picture about the dark magic and stuff, a lot of people started to like put the messages, and I was like, oh my god, I have so many questions. And in fact, if I
Right.
tell you that the live it's 1 hour, because Instagram allows only 1 hour, and
You
already,
off, right?
yeah, but there are 55 minutes already gone.
Oh wow, God, that was fast.
I know, that's what I say. I have got so many questions before. A lot of people, they don't manage to get into my lives. They just come for like 2-3 minutes, and then they
Right.
will it after. But I do record the lives. I do ask their questions, and I ask mine questions as well, obviously. And and then they will see after. So even I don't know if you're familiar with the name Megan Gillette. She works in Hollywood and she does tarot readings. She did a couple of lives with me. Now became like a job for her, the tarot reading.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, we got about 2,000 people in a couple of lives. So yeah, she got busy.
I'm always open to answer questions. People can just message me. I think you linked my business page, Noir Grimoire, and then my regular personal page at the Voodoo Doll. But either one, you can send me a message. I tend to answer my business emails, like my website. You can contact me on the form there, and that goes straight to my phone, like a text message, and then I'm able to just reply immediately.
Yeah, I did watch some of your videos. I've seen that on IGTV you put a lot, so I still need to catch up with a lot of them.
Yeah.
So, but I will look at them. I had a clear idea of what you're doing, and what I understood that you practice like what it's called by people dark side, but you do see it like the good side. You make it like a good side. So
Yeah.
yeah, because at the end you just use. I mean, you don't punish somebody if he doesn't deserve it, as per what I understood. Is that true?
Exactly. And I can also tell when people are lying. When people call and
Oh, the signal is gone.
I let them know.
Sorry, would you want to repeat because the signal was gone? We couldn't hear you. You were like
Oh yeah.
frozen.
No, I can also tell when people are lying, when they're trying to curse people unjustly. I can tell that as well. So I definitely don't send out anything that I don't feel somebody definitely deserves.
Okay, that's good. And the lady put she's still texting the other person. We
Oh, I
tried.
see here. Yeah.
Oh wow! So you already tried the blessing. It is difficult when you have an entity like that. Honestly, I did experience something like that in an house, and this spirit was not really bad. I mean, it was a bad spirit because they made him bad. I don't know if you watched my video. Like this spirit started to throw meetings. He started to copy my voice, and he started to,
Oh wow.
yeah, he did so many bad things. And I was lucky because I recorded all of them, and I'm sharing like I'm sharing again all the videos. I will put them in my page. The footsteps. I never forget. It was my first experience. There was this empty corridor on my left shoulder. I still remember even the shoulder. We got 2 minutes of countdown. I can see it from now. And
Okay. Well,
yeah, you see completely this shadow coming to me, and I don't know, was scary. I don't know.
that would be horrifying.
Well, yeah, luckily I was not alone, but then I went alone and all my emotions like changed. Like when you do rituals, I guess your emotion change because you need to get into that person somehow.
Yeah.
And as we have just 1 minute, Kai, I wanted to tell you thanks for coming, and
Thanks, sir.
you can come anytime back if
Thank
you
you.
if you liked it, if you enjoyed it, if you had the pleasure to come. I
Yeah, I
hope
had a
that,
great time.
yeah,
Yeah, I would love to come back. Just let me know.
of course. Then I will. I usually bring back people each couple of weeks or 20 days. Usually that one is the timeline. And others. This one last question. We got 30 seconds, so we need to answer quick, and I will leave it to you. Why there are people that see spirits and others that don't?
because some people are still open and others are closed. You have abilities if you're able to see spirits. If not, then you are closed. You probably lost it in childhood. That's the difference, I would say.
Yes, me too. I mean, as I ever say this example, if I'm talking with Kaya and I play PlayStation at the same time, Kaya is not gonna be happy to talk with me. So why a spirit should talk to a person doesn't care, he doesn't listen, and
Right.
I guess it's that. And we got just 9 seconds. So thank you again, Kaya, and
Thank you.
I will invite you soon. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
good day.